1, 2, 1, 2. Let's check the audio. We're good on Twitch. And how is it with YouTube? YouTube is lagging behind a little bit for me. Okay, we got audio on YouTube. That's great. That's great, that's great, that's great. Alright. Sup y'all on this beautiful Tuesday. Yeah, this is a stream. Let's call it a makeup stream. I couldn't stream on Sunday, so I'm streaming today to make up for that. And I kinda wanna be finished with this PCG grammar R&D deal. This stream will be dedicated to finishing the exploration of grammar and PCG and all the questions that I have about workflow with that. So I hope it will be the last one just R&Ding that stuff. And the funny thing is, because it's been almost 2 weeks since the last time I streamed, well, I don't remember how I set it up. It's kind of like coming back to work after 2 weeks of vacation. I don't remember jack shit except, you know, that I want to recreate some parts of that scene. And that I have this PCG assembly set up. The array spawner that tests if my PCG assembly is working correctly. And the ground floor of the building, right? Oh my god. I walked into the wall. So, without further ado, or with further ado, let's get to work. Like, from what I remember, or should I say, from what I dotted down, there are a couple of things that I wanted to work out. Assigning random materials, for example, to walls, so they don't look as unified. There's something to work out. Grouping logical assets by tag. And explore a couple of ideas, like for example, more floors, which I see I kinda started, and I remember Barabash helping me out, or noticing the bug that I had, that, you know, which helped me to actually spawn splines at expected heights, creating more floors. And also, I wanted to explore using data tables for asset swapping. I'm not sure if I will be able to work that out today. We'll see how we will go with time on that one. But it is the topic that for sure I will be exploring in other PCG streams that I will do. Or maybe I could record a quick video just for that one thing. If I don't manage to do it on this stream. Maybe. Lots of maybes, but let's start dealing with maybes babies. Oh yeah, of course. I'm bad self-promoter. I wanted to invite you to my private Discord stream. Oh my god, Discord. Where we can discuss all the cool stuff that we are building. I'm dropping announcements about where I'm streaming. Usually I'm streaming on Sundays, but whenever the situation changes, you know, I will drop the info there. There are a couple of discussions. For example, I learned from Dexterowski something about chaos destruction there, and it will prove useful, I guarantee you that. So let me drop the link for that. Here is a link to that, and additionally, I have an ongoing work in progress note making on GitHub, where I'm going through all of old notes, either on computer or actual physical ones, and compiling like some of the weird quirks or notes that I gathered throughout the years about Unreal Engine specifically, sometimes maybe something C++ related, depending on what I find, and also new stuff that I learn. Sometimes it's just a link to a lecture or just a link to some other forum posts, but believe me, this shit can be a lifesaver, and instead of keeping this stuff in multiple private Google Docs and physical notepads, I wanted to compile everything, and here's the link to it. Yep, and so feel free to enjoy this stuff. If you want to pull request, some note or comment about something, you know, feel free to do so. And without further ado, let's jump into this shit. So, no, I don't want this invite link. Now, what I want to do, let's look at the graphs. What I was doing. Let's maybe pull this thing down. Oh yeah, I was getting the spline data. I have all of the ground floor figured out. Then I'm extruding everything in z-axis by building height parameter. Okay, that's great. Then I add grammar attribute. Let me select. I pressed A to analyze my node and selected my PCG to see all the data table. And it added some grammar, main floor, intermediate floor. So it extrudes my, it will extrude my spline upwards. First thing that is spawned is main floor, which I'm kind of ignoring because I already have ground floor, right? Then all the intermediate floats up until it reaches the roof, right? The star sign in the grammar indicates spawn all of the modules named intermediate until you can't spawn it no more, and then spawn the roof. Sion, hello there. Hi! Hi, Sion. How are you doing? Stay healthy, man. Tell me, are you at work? Or are you off the work? Or you're not at liberty to disclose this information? Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. That's where the duplication of cross-section happens. Forcing clockwise spline direction. Spline gets transformed to segments. Filtering out main floor information. Then setting bounds and adding some grammar. Okay, so I'm at the point of adding some grammar of what to spawn, which is exciting because the grammar should be simple, just as the same one as the one here. The attribute of grammar here was just wall star sign, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I just want to spawn walls, and in the places where the wall has been spawned, I will be dropping in more PCG assembly. Sion answers, trying to survive. Yes, I'm at work. Okay, okay. So stay healthy, and I hope I will be a nice background noise to your work. And enjoy your work, of course. Okay, ground floor. Yeah. Select the grammar. But that's, yeah, I have to add main floor, intermediate, and roof. Okay, so the way it works out, let's drop the analyzer in here. Sion, what time are you off the work? Do, 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 do. Yeah, clockwise I have everything here. But what about the grammar? Ah yes, I got only intermediate, and there's nice selection that for the intermediate stuff. That's something weird. Ah, okay, all the point datas are like this. And the symbol chosen here is intermediate. Okay, so the last point should be roof. Sion says, thanks. I'm off around 5 p.m. Okay, nice, nice. So we'll be, online together for some time. Nice, nice. So you're off to work quite soon. Yeah, so here what happens is it actually parses through all those grammars, and depending on the comparison between those grammars and the actual symbols, the specific grammar is being chosen in here, right? So for the last roof, there is no grammar in here, right? So first of all, because we discarded all the main floor, this information is useless. For intermediate, we will go wall until you cannot spawn the wall. Right? And yeah, the one at the end also. And we are going to add another module, roof. Yeah, for now let's add wall to the roof, because I have no idea what I will spawn there. Like literally no idea, and I want this to be select. So my last PCG point data should all have walls. For roof, perfect. Okay, so for now I will have no roof, everything will be wall, right? Who cares? So there's that. It's quite similar to this, where we have symbols and meshes, right? So let's look at our graph settings, our symbols. We have fence, we have door, and we have column, right? But wait a second, in here, from what I remember, I have it a little bit differently. It's just wall and column, which I don't really spawn. So it's just that wall. Okay. And then meshes for that stuff. So now what I should do is rename those parameters, because it is fence, door. These are actually ground floor symbols. Rename ground floor meshes. It might not be the most optimal shit, but yeah, save it. Okay, and now we need to start spawning. I have selected the grammar, so I know exactly that, hey, it will just take walls. I guess I have to repeat that. But, wait a second, I need to add more. Can I duplicate in here? No! PCG user experience. I would love to just click duplicate in here. Okay. PCG subdivision submodule, right? Or is it module attribute names? I forgot which one it's supposed to be. Subdivision submodule. So I already selected wrong thing. The type should be subdivision submodule. Yeah. Let's just call it wall. Whatever the size it will be, I will change it in my building that is spawned on level. Dexterowski, oh, almost made it on time. Hello, hi Dexterowski, how are you doing? Are you in Katowice right now, as you were saying on Discord? How is your day going? Yeah, building sample. Let's go back here. Duplicate cross section, blah blah. Set attribute. Assign size Z to bounce max Z. That's something. And then subdivide segment. Yeah. Okay. I get what I'm supposed to do. Yep. So subdivide segment. Just as dated. And let's just use this. But I haven't finished setting up my, of course, my stuff. It's supposed to be an array, and it will be floor. Floors or intermediate. Symbols. That is going to be the name of it. Dexterowski says, no, I returned and hopefully missed the traffic jams on A4. Oh yeah. How about you? Great. I feel great. It's quite refreshing to have a stream on a different day than usual. So I'm having a good day, a really good day. And I'm glad that you returned and you missed the traffic jams. I'm glad that, you missed that. Yesterday I had to sit in the traffic jam because of accident and yeah. All of the streets were blocked and shit. Not a fun time. Yeah, graph settings. Intermediate symbol and of course ground floor meshes. I want to have a duplicate button in here. Is there like... No! It doesn't work like that in PCG editor. Okay, let's click on that stuff. And it is just a static mesh. Soft object, of course. Static mesh. Soft object reference, but it's of course an array. Rename it because F2 also doesn't work, and intermediate meshes. Great. Let's add some symbol. Let's call it wall, of course. Let's add some mesh. It can just be that wall for all I care. As a default. And now it's adding 350 of size. Okay. I can also add 350 here. So Dexterovsky, tell me, how are you doing right now with your physics? Or maybe you jumped onto another topic in your project. Because what you showed off on Discord, that I think I posted a link already for people. If they didn't see it, let me type it out again. Yeah, Dexterovsky shared some nice knowledge with us from his explorations. So I really recommend everyone to join in on the fun. I will for sure be using what he discovered. And I'm wondering right now what you are, you know, R&Ding right now. Okay, add attribute. Same way, it's just intermediate symbols. Whenever I have to do like this menial work, like just copy pasting, my brain kind of wants to turn off. I don't know what's this about. Meanwhile, there are people that love UV work, and I'm like, how? Holy shit, and it's supposed to just go to much data. Where the hell is much data? Okay. No such thing. Ah, just modules info. Okay, okay. Okay, am I blind? Select grammar, subdivide segment, and then modules info. I think I am blind, because it's the first thing. Ah, yeah. I already forgot how you should use it. Already forgot this. Wall. Yeah, 350 or whatever. Module info as input. Yeah, I already forgot all the stuff. Accept incomplete subdivisions. Flip axis as attribute. Not really. Unless they did it, but I don't think so. And oh yeah, and it's supposed to be... I am dumb. Symbol, yes, and size attribute is... Oh no, actually I'm not that dumb. Wait, what do you mean it didn't have scalable as an option? Okay, show me that. Be scalable, of course. Be scalable, of course. Now it should contain information about no data available. That's nice. We have wall, we have size, we have everything. We have our mesh that is selected. We have our grammar here. And on subdivide segment, we have absolutely nothing. No data parsed. Great. And we will debug it in a second. Dexterovsky says, yeah, I found out that replication of geometry collection is quite heavy for network traffic, and we shouldn't do it. I must change distraction to be only for local clients. That's good to know. And I don't know why, but it is some sort of challenging because I can't get it to work only for local clients. Oh, damn. Okay. But that's weird that it wouldn't allow you to just turn on some physics and locally. Although I could see how that could prove a problem because things are moving, right? Server has authority and suddenly there is a physical barrier, physical collision that is only on client. Yeah, there might be some quirk around that. And the distraction shouldn't be replicated. Yeah, it is quite heavy, but correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it Battlefield 4 or 3 that was claiming to have replicated distraction? But I'm not sure if it was fake or not. But there was something like this, right? Am I misremembering it? There used to be something like that. Okay, let's see. Why am I not actually sampling anything? Subdivide spline works right out of the gate. Grammar as attribute. Maybe that's the thing that I haven't really complemented yet. And of course, it's grammar, right? That's how I named it. I hope, yeah. So it's not last, it's this, and now, yeah, we fixed that. So we have more spawn information, although I see, is it kind of doubled? No. Grammar symbol is a wall, as it should be. The debug color, blah blah blah. Now we need to add back our information about matches, meshes. So we're going to do this. We're going to do this reroute. Now the meshes are here. We can just start spawning, I guess, just those walls, right? There's nothing. Ah, yeah, post-processing. I forgot about post-processing, but I delegated it to apply mesh info to spawn points. I created my own little dinky here. That doesn't work. Module height from pin. What? Okay. I can add that. Don't you worry. I can add that. Don't you worry. Great, thank you. And now none of the PCG point data contain anything. Or do they? We'll see in a hot second. And now I can start spawning, I guess. Yeah. I can, of course, duplicate the trick with debug and shit. B show debug, and if it shows debug, just show the debug, right? I don't need that anymore. And if not, for that hot second, let's just static mesh spawn things. I mean, we'll be spawning those things anyway, so by attribute, yeah, mesh. Yeah. Everything is correct. And I have some really weird floors. Okay, so we will have some debugging in front of us. Dektorowski continues. Additionally, I have in my Acto static mesh component as a proxy to have overlap events working, because on geometry collection it is not working. In Battlefield it was pre-calculated, I think. Ah, yes. Yes, okay, so if they pre-calculated it, they just need to replicate the info about progress of destruction, and that's it. If it is pre-calculated, it's almost as if it was just playing animation, right? Okay. So when object is not fractured, we are meshing with static mesh. When it comes into destruction, it hides static mesh, disables physics, collision, etc., and it swaps with the geometry collection. Yeah, I guess it's a standard approach. At work, I also used similar approach, and from what I heard from a couple of friends that also used chaos destruction, they did it the same way. Which, you know, which kind of sucks that you have to keep the proxy, right? It would be awesome if we could just keep the geometry collection there and just deal with that, right? But for now, I'm not knowledgeable. I do not have any information about some workaround. If I will learn something about that, I will for sure, you know, be talking about it here, and I will drop that info on my GitHub with notes. But yeah, it seems to me that many people are doing it that way, as you described it. So what? Right now you are fighting against spawning distraction only for local clients. Okay. Which multiplayer mode you're working with? Are you working with listen server or dedicated server? That also might play a part in here. And right now, let's figure out why my floors are as disjointed here as they are. Because that shit is interesting. Let's put in debug. But not here, let's just put it in here. Right, let's not spawn meshes at this second. I just want debug because in debug it's already kind of fucked and it's already going inside these walls. Gee whiz, I sure hope I won't have to do another stream and I won't lose the next 2 hours just on that thing, because that would be annoying. Dexterowski answers my question about dedicated server versus listen server. What is he using? Mostly I am targeting listen server, but I am trying to keep in mind dedicated server as well to be supported. Okay, that's good, that's good. Yeah, and I remember in the Unreal's documentation it states that just a check for server is enough for it to work for both listen server and dedicated server, but let me tell you, there are a couple of moments where you have to check for listen server specifically. Like from my own practice, I've seen situations where either just by using simple checks, either dedicated server didn't work and some features didn't work for dedicated server, or only for listen server. So sometimes I was just, instead of using is server, I was explicitly checking for dedicated server or listen server, because listen server on its own is a weird combination of, hey, yeah, this machine is a server, but it's also kind of client. So depending which part are you working with, sometimes you have to make assumption, treat this machine as a client, sometimes as a server. It's a mess for me. But yeah, sometimes I have to explicitly check this stuff. Okay, but let's see right now when or where this whole thing got messed up. It only got messed up after applying mesh info to spawn points. When it comes to z-axis, it suddenly got put down a little bit, right? In the z-axis. Okay. But so it would suggest that what actually Dexterovsky says we should keep in mind that on dedicated server we don't want to do cosmetics, but on listen server we do. Yep, totally. That's one of the things that, you know, you need to explicitly check. Okay, am I a client and a listen server? Then I should turn on the cosmetics, etc. That's one of the things. Yep, and all the, you know, user interface calls the same way. And for the love of God, no one should ever replicate user interface at all. User interface should be user interface and just read things from game state or other parts of code that are replicated. Okay, let's look at this thing. Subdivision axis is X. Size attribute name is size. I guess the size is different here. Ground floor. Let's turn that on. It's actually exactly the same. But if I scale it, it actually works out. It's weird that the same spline copied and extruded upwards is just doing nothing. Okay, let's, you know, divide it by... Wait, what the hell happened? Okay, let's revert it. And by 2. Yeah, let's keep 2 floors right now and figure out where's the spacing coming from. Like, it kinda cannot juggle this and just spawn it. That's some weird stuff. Okay, why it might be happening? Okay, is it about duplicate cross section? Is it from here? It might be because I have a different, completely different. No, not really. It basically doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, let's look at the PCG building sample once again. Here is where it creates main floor and then all of the intermediates, right? Duplicate cross section. Yep. And what is the way I'm doing it? It should be the exact same way. I'm having a main floor, intermediate, and I also have the roof, right? That's great. Then I'm forcing spline direction, changing spline into segment. Let's maybe extract tangents as well because it might be better or something. Then I'm disregarding main floor. Then I'm setting size Z to bounce max Z. Okay. But am I really? Yeah, I am. Okay. Then I'm selecting the grammar. Here are my criteria. Scaled local size X. That's the wrong stuff. Okay. That's where I made my error. What if I just deleted that? Okay, no, let's look at how they used it, because the way they used it, and by they I mean of course Epic, everything that is above local size X 500 gets this, and it's a main floor. Everything that is just a main floor is this. Then intermediate above size, or should I say local size, scaled local size 500 is turned into this. And everything that is not compatible with that is being changed to this. Okay. So in my case, do I actually care about any of this stuff? Not really. I don't need that. And I am not sure if I need that. Or maybe I needed it. Okay, okay. Okay, key as attribute. That's correct. Symbol and scaled local size X. Everything is kind of correct and shit. Symbol. And it should just spawn walls until it can't. Show me this stuff. Here is the thing that I kind of don't like. There is this parameter of scaled local size.x, but you cannot see it in here. You could see it by just copying this attribute and changing it into something else, but I dislike that workflow. I would just want to see this. Because right now I have holes in my in my flaws, and I have no idea where they're coming from, but I can see that it probably does come from here, right? Or maybe not, huh? Actually, no. It is nice. No holes. Okay. So the holes appear only after this. So my subdivision is completely wrong, right? Okay, let's look at the subdivision. Extra output attributes. Yeah, if I don't accept incomplete subdivision, it won't spawn anything. So I need to accept that. Let's subdivide this segment here and... Here it is. Be scalable, first of all. God damn it. Will I waste the next 2 hours on this stuff or not? The holes are in here and I don't want those holes. So why it does subdivide it in that way? Size attribute name is size. Okay, show me the size of this stuff. Yeah, it's 473 up. Okay, that's kind of correct, I think. Show me the same shit here. Yeah, it's just module height. This attribute, really. Okay. Where is it? Where were we? What the hell? Oh yeah, subdivide segment. I mean, the other axis doesn't make any sense, so it should be x-axis on the spline. That one is correct. Accept include flip axis also wouldn't change a thing for us, and it should introduce the error. So that's not it. Yeah, it's funny because when I will check that, yeah, it is scalable, let's go with that, it introduces only one small hole in here. While on the ground floor, it just spawns it like it sees it. Love working like that. Okay. But it's the exact freaking same spline, so... What the hell? Well, what if I will input like 200? Nothing. 350. It doesn't matter really. Because it's not scalable, so only now it will scale. I love this shit. For some reason, my node for subdividing this whole segment that was created in here didn't work. But what if we segment? We only have this, okay. But what if I omitted spline to segment actually? And instead, I would use sub. Oh my god, sub. I would use just a copy of subdivide spline. Maybe there's something wrong with subdivide segment. It requires that. Okay. Let's do this. And just for shit and giggles, let's just add this. What are you screaming about? Module height was not found. Okay. We can add that in. With the control. Warning. Unmatched token found. What? Unmatched token? What are you talking about? Okay, so we cannot do it that way. Damn, and I was so sure that I got it. Okay, so what they did here, additionally, nothing really. They just did exactly the same shit that I did. They selected the grammar, then they did the subdivision. Grammar as attribute. I have the exact same setup. It is scaled local X. Maybe I shouldn't use the select. Maybe I should have used, like, I don't know, 350. That would be kind of stupid, but well, right now I'm in the phase of throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks. And lo and behold, it did stick. Yeah, that's like the last resort technique, right? When it comes to debugging. At first you're trying to be logical. Then you're unhooking parts of your code or blueprint and being like, okay, logically it should work. And I don't understand why it doesn't, right? And at some point your brain gets fried. That's where usually it is a great time if you're at work to call your colleague and be like, hey, I need, someone to bounce back my idea from, right? And they will point it out to you that, hey, you did this error. Last stream, Barabash pointed out my error to me, and it was like, oh, great, right? And if that doesn't help, then it's let's throw shit at the wall and see if it works. And if it works, we will try to connect the logical dots again, right? Why wasn't it working? And that's how you gain knowledge. And I was in the phase of let's throw shit at the wall, let's click different things, maybe something will work. And it absolutely did. And if I understand it correctly, it wasn't the problem with subdivision per se, it was with grammar selection, where I was only choosing points as my walls, points that could be walls, right? And would be assigned the grammar of, hey, spawn walls until you cannot spawn the walls. And instead of using any comparator, I used select this grammar, which always evaluates to true. So I thought what it meant is, hey, every point on my spline that has been assigned as intermediate turn it into a wall, right? Which was an error on my part. Because instead of what I should do is, hey, every part of the spline, or in that moment actually segment, that has a scaled local size x a little bit above 350, which is the size of my wall mesh, everything that, you know, goes in there, I should probably also select is bigger or equal, right? Assign the grammar of wall with the star, which means spawn walls until you cannot spawn walls on this segment anymore because it doesn't fit, right? So that was my error. I was thinking that select would basically just choose every segment with the intermediate symbol and swap it for this grammar. No, it was an error. I actually should have dealt with the sizes, because that way, from what I see, I can actually assign correct grammar to correct segments and not discard some of them, because from what I understand, I have discarded some of them accidentally. And then the subdivision actually can work because it has more segments to work with, right? So now I have a problem of, if I understand, oh, no, never mind. I was so happy, my subdivision still sucks. It's just that after selecting grammar, I have all the points, but after subdivision, some of the points are getting fucked. So what could be the problem here? What if I ignored subdivision? No, but I cannot ignore subdivision. I have to use my modules info, right? What? Okay, so my subdivision sucks once again, but at least I know that my grammar information is correct, right? Because when I hook the debug node into my grammar, I see nice little perfect wall. Should I go back into throw shit at the wall and see what sticks? Probably. Because right now I don't understand why it would not subdivide. Why it would... Wait, am I also not... Yeah, because right now it's only selecting points that... the segments that are either equal or longer than 350 for subdivision. What about the ones that are smaller? I should also include those, right? So maybe this select wasn't that bad for me, right? For everything that do not fit within that criteria, also select wall. It didn't fix a goddamn thing. But did it break it? No, not really. Should it just be wall? Just a singular? Grammar doesn't fit for this segment. Okay, then fuck right off. Should it actually be just bigger? No, not really. So, food for thought. Dexterovsky asks, are you gonna play new remasters of Tomb Raider 4-6? Oh, I didn't know they were already on that. I knew that they recently released the remasters from 1 to 3, right? I'm not sure if I will play it. Is there something like specific about these remasters? Did they add some new content, or there is some memes going around? Is there some weird decision, or are they just awesome? Actually, I never played 4 through 6. I played the third one first, and then I played the second in the 90s. So yeah, if those remasters will be good, might pick it up. If they do not mess up anything, really. Wait, I can duplicate my indexes in here, but when I do graph settings, I cannot duplicate this? What the? That kinda sucks. Okay, but whatever. Let's do the same for roof. Let's duplicate this and everything that doesn't fit in with this criteria, just put wall in there. It didn't fix anything, but it also didn't destroy it. Are you gonna play the Tomb Raider 4 through 6? Oh my god, the whole window went down. Okay, so before subdivision and after subdivision. I'm still losing some points. Some segments, or I should say, actually. But is it because of grammar selection or... Okay, no, I don't want criteria as input. Dexterovsky says, yeah, they released one Tomb Raider 1 to 3 year ago on 14th of February. Oh, that's a nice date for Lara Croft. On 14th of February, they will be released. I love Tomb Raiders 1 through 5. 4 is my favorite. Oh, isn't the 4th... maybe I shouldn't ask this question, but I remember reading about this in Old School Click video game magazine. Spoilers about what happens in Tomb Raider 4. Is it the one where the thing happens? Of course, I'm finishing on streams the first Tomb Raider right now. Okay, okay, nice. Nice. Are they releasing it only on PC or are they releasing it also on consoles? I wonder. Yeah, and I'm also wondering, what about this new Tomb Raider that they teased with the key art like 2 years ago or something like this? What's going on with that? But yeah, the old school Lara Croft's Tomb Raiders are classics. Goddamn classics. Okay, so what I know right now, that when I just look at grammar, everything is correct. When I'm subdividing segments, I'm losing some of these segments. Like no wall gets spawned in here and no wall gets spawned in here. I'm not really sure why though. I have an idea that maybe, just maybe, this post-processing is to be blamed. Maybe I am doing something weird with it. Oh no, I'm not. It's before post-process. Okay. Yeah, right. It's just... And post-process is just after subdividing. Wait. So... Yeah, match and set attributes and then post-processing. Okay, and when they are matching and setting attributes, it's symbol to symbol, keep unmatched, and match attributes. I think I do the exact same freaking stuff, right? Keep unmatched, symbol to symbol, warn if no match data. Yeah, so that's okay. Here it extracts mesh info. I have the mesh, I have extends Z of 236, pivot offset, yeah, and size of 525. That's the reason. Okay. It's a wrong freaking size, right? Or am I wrong? Main floor size. But this is the size in Z, right? Dexterovsky answers, it will be available on consoles also. I think I know what you probably had on mind, and the answer is yes. Okay, okay. Or maybe actually the second Tomb Raider is my favorite. Hard decision. Oh yeah, the second is also a classic. It is a classic. 100%. No one will blame you for not being able to select between any of the old school classics, actually. I remember that 3 was reviewed a little bit worse than second, but since it was my first Tomb Raider, I was wowed by it. I was like, what? This is the type of game I get to play on my PCs? Wow. Or actually on my brother's PC, not mine. Okay, but the extract mesh info. Actually, the size here is being put as 525. So maybe that might be the reason, because I'm subdividing segments. I'm using this size. And when I have size X 473, and here it is size 500. Let me try out something. It's another stick shit at the wall and see throw shit at the wall and see what sticks ideas. 525. Can I just copy that value? I don't know what kind of copy it creates. Fucked up copy. Okay. 525 735. Okay. It probably wouldn't do too much, but I have no clue. Actually, it looks like I messed it up a little bit, but who cares? Yeah, the extrude vector, extruded here. No, actually, those values were okay, I think. Because it was all about extruding upwards, right? I think. Or I could just input, like, 350 in here and see what will happen. Nothing. Damn! Size is still 350. Line direction, yeah. Then I'm filtering this attribute. Size Z is being set as bounce max Z, which is that. Okay, and then after gamma is being parsed through, scaled local size X. Wait, did I connect it? Oh. And key is an attribute. Dexterowski says, I recently saw on YouTube that someone made a mod for Tomb Raider 2 multiplayer. It was hilarious to watch. Oh, you mean like a co-op or deathmatch? I cannot imagine a deathmatch with those controls, but that had to be funny as shit. That had to be funny as shit. You can drop the link to it on Discord, you know. I would love to see that. Okay, so I'm not sure what is the problem in here. And I'm not sure if it is worth wasting 2 next hours for that. Or should I drop that problem for a second and add additional stuff and fix it at the end, well, if I have time. Because right now I'm kind of stumped, and sometimes when you're stumped it's good to change subject into something different and then come back to it, because sometimes it becomes apparent what this whole thing is doing. Yeah. Fixed array of modules used for subdivision, right? It's using the size of 350. So every segment. Actually, I don't really understand this differentiation. We have spline data in here, and then suddenly we have points representing the segments. Okay. And they have bounds in X, min and X. So for example, let's take, I don't know, like this. With the index 0, our segment has a size of 860, right? Some kind of position, but 860. And then here in size, no, it's a size Z, so 860. Then we go in here and we, with our extruded data, let's select some of these, and yeah, it's 860. So whenever you have a segment that is bigger than this, spawn walls until you can. Lexidowski says, yeah, co-op. Oh, so it must be nice for co-op thingy. It must be super funny. And Dexterowski dropped the link in the Discord. And so if you guys want to see it, let me copy the Discord invitation once again. Type a message. Yep. Thank you, Dexterowski, for that link. I will for sure be watching this. Because Tomb Raider, in general, as an idea, Tomb Raider in co-op sounds cool. If they designed Tomb Raider game from the ground up to be a co-op game, I could see that. I could see that. Not as a main mode, of course, but as an additional content, kind of like Portal 2 had, you know, like the main story structure and then the co-op thing. I would love that. I would love that. Especially if they did it with 4D remasters. That would be awesome. But I bet your ass that, you know, modders will do something like this if they already did it. Okay, I think I will have a quick break because I'm kind of losing my mind with this stuff. Truth be told. Here we got minus 262, so it's around 500 size and X for segment, and yet it's not proving to be alright. I'm kinda losing my mind right now with this select grammar shit. That's what happens with PCG, and not only PCG. Sometimes you can lose a lot of time on just one singular node. An input attribute against provided criteria. So key attribute is symbol. Compared valued attribute is scaled local size. So basically those bounds, right? Scaled local size for X would be 860, judging those bounds. Should I make it smaller? But I don't think it will do anything to my subdivision. Yeah, it's still missing out stuff. I can clean up and regenerate, but nothing will happen. Okay, I need a quick break because before I lose my motherfucking mind. And we will jump into maybe a little bit different topic. Maybe we'll quickly do a PCG assembly for that. Accept that our building has walls in it for a second. Jump into another topic and then we will get back to this division because whew, I'm losing my goddamn mind right now. So, yeah. So, yeah, I'll be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. With a little bit of pause. So yeah. I needed a little bit of break. Let's for a hot second ignore that problem. Let's just spawn these walls as they are. It's funny because if I scaled them, they would work perfectly. Maybe I should leave them scaled. Maybe. Okay, and now let's turn off this. We have some free space in here, but that's not a problem right now. Let's just create a PCG assembly and start spawning it in those places. It's so annoying. Okay. MK, hey, new Unreal Engine dev here. Watched some of your exploration streams on Mover plugin and they were super helpful. Oh, thank you very much, and I'm glad that they were helpful. I'm really glad. Once the Mover will move up from experimental to like beta, I will for sure be getting back to it. And I want to use that in my game that I'm also making here on stream. So I'm glad that this topic was helpful. There will be more of this topic here, for sure, because it is of great interest of mine. And how are you doing? How is your day going? Right now, my day was going great until I hit the roadblock in PCG. So yeah, I'm having that kind of a day. How were they creating those walls? Is this... what kind of mesh is... the mesh already has those windows, and then they are spawning panes, etc, etc. Ooh, that's something interesting. So let's take this thing and let's swap out our... for that. We have our walls and we have our windows. That is kind of cool. That is really kind of cool. Okay, so I have my regular walls. Let's put it back in here and let's start spawning some. Let's create the PCG assembly. Let's put it a little bit above in here. Let's actually clear the rotation right up to 0 on here, right? Okay, so we are building it that way. Okay, let's spawn some... yeah, I like those blinds. Let's spawn them. Dexterovsky says, I really can't wait to watch some live stream when you will be struggling with networking shit in C++. Yeah. That stream I should probably tag as some masochistic stream or something. Where the hell is my content drawer? Yeah, that's what I want in here. Oh, it's... yeah, it is coming at some point. I mean, I wanted to... I'll be honest, I wanted to look into iris replication. And I've been looking how to... in what way I could explore iris, right? Iris is a new replication way where you could I mean, you already could net serialize everything by yourself, but it's supposed to be way easier. It's not working with replication graph, but they claim that it gets better network performance than replication graph, and that it is better with scale. And I would love to test it out, but I would have to, and am actively thinking about how to set up a good scenario for such tests, both so I could code something in C++, right, using Iris, and also I want to actually measure, create a build of dedicated server and client and measure the difference between regular Iris, between regular replication, sorry, and Iris, right? Or regular replication with repgraph and Iris, something like that. But because they say it gives the best results when it scales to way more clients than just one or two, I've been trying to come up with the way of creating a cheap scenario when I could actually show something like that. And it's been a head scratcher how to set this up, because I could, of course, just download Lyra, create a build, turn like 2 clients in the listen server session and call it a day. But I don't think it would be, it wouldn't give too much information, right? So that's something that I really want to do. And I'm actively thinking and also like asking around, like, for example, how could I set up maybe like 20 or 30 clients without hooking up my credit card to cloud computing, etc., etc. So it is something that I'm trying to, you know, set up in here. MK says, Iris is something I've been trying to find information on too. So sparse. Yeah, I mean, for now the best documentation was that one epic document, basically, on their page, and the C++ code. And I really want to use it, so yeah, there will be an Iris stream, for sure. Dexterovsky says, Rage stream, real game that tries to do multiplayer game. Yeah, that could be, you know, if I was going for the clicks, yeah. Dexterovsky said, easier, what I saw, it has push models, so we have to manually mark variables to replicate, if I understood it correctly. That's what I want to find out, because they have been saying that, yeah, it is push model, but they also say that you by flipping a switch, it automatically works on the code that you already created, so it should work without code modifications. And that's what I want to verify, right? That's exactly what I would love to verify. But I really have to come up with some kind of scenario that could be measured properly. Because it's one thing to turn on Iris, replicate some data and be like, okay, yeah, it replicates, but I really actually want to test it out at a bigger scale than just 2 clients connected to a dedicated server. But I have no idea how to do it without blowing up my budget yet, so I will be, you know, preparing something for sure. And yeah, and generally I have to work on my skills when it comes to like streaming C++, because I've received feedback from Barabash, for example, and not only him, that the moment I swap out to Rider and look at code and start to explain this, I do it in a kind of sleepy, boring way. Which might be a plus if you think about it, if you're, you know, trying to cure insomnia, but that's not what I'm aiming for, really. So yeah, I have to work on that skill. And what better way of working on that skill than actually trying to stream? So yeah, Iris stream for sure. Confirmed. I will try to do something with that. Okay, let's take these doors. Oh, it's just a frame. Ooh, nice. Let's put this frame in here. Right now I'm constructing a little PCG assembly that will be spawned in the on my walls that have annoying holes in them. I swear to God, every time I do this PCG grammar stream, I tend to have a stopgap on one node. Yeah. And let's take this doors. From here, right? And assemble this together. Yeah, I don't want to assemble too much stuff. I just want to show off how we could quickly oh, it's like base and this and that. Ooh, lots of elements. Okay, let me be a little bit quicker about this stuff. I want to have a balcony, but Lexerowski says, and honestly, you should go for clicks if you want to learn teach people and show the real learning curve and way. Yeah, maybe I should start doing better titles for my YouTube streams and Twitch streams. And yeah, the mission is to show the real learning curve. So when I'm struggling with a note, etc., I can bet that at least one additional person also is struggling with that. And I had a thought like, hey, maybe I could, find Epic developer and ask them politely, hey, would you join the stream to explain some stuff? But then I thought, no, actually it is better if, what is this thing made of? It is a couple of oh my. Wait a second. Oh my, okay, so is this scaled? Yeah, it is scaled a bit. I don't want this to be scaled, actually. So let me create a smaller balcony. And duplicate it. And some of y'all might be wondering, if you weren't here the last stream, why am I, instead of just pulling things out and copying it on scene and putting it into my PCG assembler, why am I always going through content drawer? Well, in this example scene, and any example scene, if you turn it on, things can have weird rotations and can be parented in a specific way, right? And I made that error, and Dexterowski here pointed it out to me like, hey, reassemble this thing right out of the content drawer, right? Maybe it will fix the problems that I had while spawning this stuff, right? Because I had problems with some weird rotation that I couldn't fix by changing things in graph. PCG graph, right? And yeah, it turns out to be a golden ticket to fixing my problem with the proper rotation. So the lesson I got from that was to always assemble those things by hand. Or if I was working with the artist, I would ask them, oh my god, I have to scale this thing on the x-axis. Okay. I would ask them, hey, could you prepare it in such and such way? So I could just grab it and create PCG assembly out of it, right? And one thing that I saw in Epic's presentation when they were talking about how they were using oh my god, I'm blacking out. What's this program name? Houdini. To create their city, and PCG is super similar to those Houdini nodes that they were showing. They were basically doing the same stuff, right? So I'm really just trying to recreate some of that shit that they did. Oh, I like that. I'ma take that. Wood plank. Give me that. And it's on a window pane, okay. But the thing is, now it would be cool to have a rule that would say if I'm spawning this, there should be no blinds or something like that, right? I wonder if we could easily create that, but actually it visually looks, it doesn't make sense, but it looks alright. Nothing is clipping. Okay, and maybe the last element I will take is this one. Oh, it's actually 6 elements, and I thought that it would be 1. Okay, how about no? And what is that thing? Oh, I like that thing. Or do I? No, let's not mess much more with this stuff. Okay, now let's take all of the stuff that... No, not that. That I assembled. No. This and door frame and this and this and this fence and the balcony base, and let's right click. Create level instance, right? Yeah. And level instance intermediate wall decoration, right? And yeah, let's save it. And now let's get back to our folder. And this is how you create PCG assembly. You right click on your level instance, asset actions, create PCG assets. And I can just go PCG decoration 0, yeah, whatever. And yeah, now I can just straight up use it in graph. Let's get into the graph and now we need to start copying points, right? So copy points, and we just drag and drop it as we did in the last stream for the regular stuff. This is our target. Our source of points is this. If we look at that, it will show us those points and all the meshes that were used. I hope the scale gets saved. Yeah, it gets saved. I don't have to do additional work with that. And there's some attribute noise. I've added some offset in here, but I don't remember why and how. Ah, yeah, because I tagged some elements as not belonging to randomization and some of them belonging to randomization. But whatever. I don't want to do this at this moment. So let's just attribute noise it. Like they did in here. And let's just filter out a couple of details so it will be randomly spawning. It will look stupid, but what I'm trying to achieve here is just weird ass randomization, which kinda happened, kinda didn't. Yeah, we have imperfect balconies spawned in, which is funny. And certain elements are spawned on the outside. So I guess I should actually. Yeah. I could just transform those points. Because there's some weird rotation, but not everything is weirdly rotated. Do I once again have this problem? God damn it. No. Ah, it's the offset. That's the offset that I was using last time. Okay, okay. Because it spawns a little bit too inside of the wall. So to combat that, we need to go like this. Now it's more visible. Of course, full random means full random, which we will have incomplete balconies. No. No floor to the balconies. Which kinda... Let's say it is my commentary on modern block of flats developers. That's how I perceive their skills in creation. Yep. That's exactly it. I should probably offset it even more. Like 80. Yeah. There's something weird going on with the scale of things. So let's fix that. Hopefully. When we are copying, we are taking the source scale. Of course. And it did absolutely nothing. Rotation also stars. That's interesting. It immediately put it the other way around. Yeah, there's something wrong with those blinds. They are not only unrotated, but... where was it? Rotation. Relative. Relative does something weird. And if I just do with a source... There's something weird going on with those blinds. I think I mess up on blind construction. Okay. So let's use relative. Because it worked for doors, parts of balcony. Yeah, this is how I expect to take a mortgage. This is the kind of flat I expect I would get for mortgage. A little bit of commentary. Yeah, it's weird that those blinds are actually... And yeah, and what happens if I increase it even further? Like... Do I have any rotation here? No, not really. Okay, so for the blinds, I think I would have to reassemble them once again. But yeah, that way you can spawn additional details. So I still have those holes to fix. They're driving me nuts. I also wanted to see if I could randomly swap the material for the walls. I wonder. In the static mesh spawner node, we have something called by attribute material override, right? So I think I even have material. Yes, I have material in here, right? So I could just turn that on. Why are you saying that you have no material in here? Ah, because you don't. Okay. Then what I was looking at that had material. Okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Extract mesh info. It takes the info about the mesh. And do I have material in here? No, no, no. Ground floor meshes. I guess I would have to add ground floor materials and put it as an array and then randomly assign to points those materials, right? But that's the thing. Last time I had problem finding out a good node workflow to do that. So we will go back to it at this moment. So yeah, parameters. It will be material instance, soft object reference, and it will be, of course, array and rename materials. And for now, just for now, let's take the PCG ground floor meshes. Yeah, let's take this regular oh, it has two elements to it. Oh, I haven't anticipated that. So I not only would have to wait. It cannot not take into the account. Yeah, it has a couple of indexes. So material. So already when I look at this, I see the potential problem in workflow. If I was a tech artist creating that, I would have to make an assumption of how many materials given static mesh could have and output all the possible material IDs for that, which I don't like that I'm making assumptions like that. Or I'm forcing artists to do something. Dexterovsky says, okay, it's time to run the Unreal because I have like 10 degrees in my room only. Yeah, you can turn on the Unreal, turn on some heavy scene and let it hit your room up. I'll be honest, even when I'm at work or working on my, personal stuff or doing those streams, I can just turn off my heater because it gets so hot from my RTX. And during summer, sometimes I'm wondering, is it really that hot? Yeah, it is, but my graphics card adds another couple of, degrees to the room. Let me check it. Yeah, it is heating like crazy. That would be a good stream. Real GameDev cooks something on the RTX. But I bet someone already cooked something on RTX. Regardless. So, for example, my mesh right now has two material IDs, right? Which one is it? This one, right? More than that, when I'm creating those things, would I assume that each... No, it's some kind of Looney Tune town. Oh my god. It's a weirdest workflow because I have to assume how many material IDs a mesh has in my static mesh spawner, which might be wrong from the get-go. And secondly, right now I have an array of materials, and I would have to call materials for ID 0 and materials for I don't like this workflow. I hate the idea that I had in a second ago that I will randomize materials. From what I see, it's not going to be pretty. Yeah, right now I'm thinking instead of swapping random materials around, it would be better to create a level instance of a single wall where we apply a different material on it, and another instance, and use the PCG assemblies and just replace some of the data with the data from PCG assemblies. Because then I don't make any assumptions about randomized materials and how many IDs do I have, etc., because I cannot assume anything, right? Yeah, so I think that workflow is kind of fucked. Like, you really need to know when you're using this static mesh spawner and you want to overwrite your materials, you need to know exactly how many IDs do you have. So I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the PCG assembly workflow with that. Unless there is... What is this? No. These are just my graph forums. Get material 0 possibilities. Yeah, I see I already kinda was playing around with that. So yeah, not a great way. Dexterovsky says, I literally saw some sort of tip in some video that if you do not want to heat your room, you can just turn off real-time render in the editor. Yeah, I think I also saw something similar like that. That, hey, you want to, save on some resources, turn off real-time render. And it's like, okay, but I am working on a video game though. I could just, constantly be like, okay, it's great. Okay, let's freeze it. Work on graph, let's unfreeze it. Okay, let's look at it. I could have workflow like this, although, nah, I'd rather have, save up on my heating bills by increasing my electricity bills. That's awesome. Okay. Let's do this weird workflow that I just described. I have a singular wall in here. Ground floor meshes. It is a stupid workflow, but it will work. And I don't have to make any weird backward ass assumptions about anything. Where I was building those level instances. Ah, yeah, there. Okay. Whew. Yeah, that's why I prefer to be a gameplay programmer. I don't really have to deal with that much stuff on the level. But also that's what I need to learn more about this stuff. If I want to make my own game by myself. Okay, yeah, and let's just change the materials, I guess, to the one that I kinda selected in here. Yeah, let's turn that on. It will be weird, but whatever. Ah, this already, that, okay. Then the another one, great, now I'm creating level instance. It pains me so much to do it that way, but wall variant 1, then I can just Asset action, create PCG assets. PCG wall variant 0. I cannot explain and express how much of pain I feel doing this type of workflow. Just to have randomized materials, but I don't really see any other way. Unless you talk to your artist and be like, hey, I only want to have one material ID, which for many cases it will be the truth, right? But sometimes it will be like, no, the artist actually needs 2 additional IDs. And then you're like, okay, in my graph, I need to make assumptions about stuff, etc. Suddenly it becomes less procedural and less artist driven. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, and if I would propose that kind of workflow with the level instances, that every time someone wants to create a variant of the base mesh that is being spawned in here, yeah, I think artists would curse me out for such workflow. So I am not sure if that's the way it should be used. But what other way I could swap those materials out without making assumptions about IDs? The only other way I could see is creating a custom node for that. And custom structure that would just contain, yeah, you would select the mesh that you are trying to create a variation for, and it would automatically create all the IDs, right? For you to create variants from, but custom C++ code. So that's what's going on. Okay, so right now I can literally just go like attribute noise here and there and density filter, right? Wait. Yeah, I need 2 filters actually. And one will be inverted because I need some randomization right now. Because if we would take a look at this data, yeah, it kind of divided itself in half nicely. And it is spawning this kind of mesh, etc, etc. And right now what I need to do is take my PCG wall variant in here, basically do that. This is the target, this is the source, so it will give me this new mesh with new material. How it actually, wait a second, it also won't work. Because it also only contains information about one material ID. The first one. I'm fucked anyway. Can I even achieve material randomization like this when there are multiple IDs? I'm glad that in the example that I picked, the regular walls have 2 material IDs, because if it would had only 1 material ID, I would say, I would do that and be like, yeah, you can do it like this, but additional material IDs for mesh, and suddenly we are fucked. Quite honestly. And I'm not sure what to do with that. Because right now it just won't spawn what I want, right? We can just put it in here and in here. It will be the exact same mesh. The color won't change at all. I can even unhook that, so some of those things will be empty. And let's hook this shit back in. No, I'll be quite honest. I'm not sure how to achieve this. Yeah, like with those holes in the floors above the ground floor, I'm sure I'm making some stupid mistake and I will find that mistake, right? It's on my end. But with that thing, I'm not sure how I can achieve randomization of materials for the ground floor or for any floor when there are more than one material IDs. Even that didn't work because it produces singular material instead of two. So it actually probably, even if I use that, and I would delete that and put material in here, it has material as data in here, right? But only for the oh my god. Now here's the real kicker. Yeah, it doesn't contain material in here, but who cares? I can unhook that and we will still see the same old color because only material 0 was taken. And I have no way, even by using PCG assembly, I have no way of circumventing that because PCG assembly only gives out information about material for material ID 0, which means I have no idea outside of creating custom code. C++, using C++ to create custom, maybe not static mesh spawner, but custom structures and custom node that would be able to assign randomly points those materials for each and every material ID. I don't see other way of doing it. So I failed at that, but it seems like it's just there's no way of doing it outside of C++ code. And I really wanted to be like, hey, here's my ground floor and I'm only using one mesh. Literally, I mean, yeah, there's the other way. I could just, yeah, there is the other way. But artists would kill me for such workflow and it would increase the installation size, the disk size of your game, etc, etc. So I hate this with passion. Let me show you the other way. Of course there is, but I kinda dislike this workflow. So let's turn that off, that off, that off. Let's just connect this shit, right? And you're not using that. The other way of doing that is, of course, by... I cannot even bring myself to do it. Let's take this wall. Let's duplicate it. Yeah, whatever the name. And let's use our... Where the hell was it? Material from here. Oh, okay. Let's level edit. It is that. Wait, let's get back to that original. Turn that on. You see what I'm getting at? Woo! Creating a completely new mesh, and right now we have two meshes, right? Then swapping our mesh for that. Saving this. Right click on that, asset actions, update PCG assets. Oh my god, I hate this workflow. I hate it. Let's redo what I did, which is attribute noise. It's already there. So density filter. Two density filters, one for unchanged stuff and one for changed stuff. Yes, I know I could use just attribute filter. Actually, I will, because it is cleaner way of doing it. Operator, target attribute is density, and I want this to be above constant threshold of float 0.5. And now we should have some data inside of the filter, some data outside of the filter, right? And let's say inside of the filter spawns regular static mesh like that. What the hell? What? I just found real weird bug. Look at this. If you are trying to drop PCG assembly into your graph and you do it over the comment, it won't let you. You have to do it on the empty space. That's really funny. And yeah, copy points. This is my target, this is my source, and then spawn these points, right? And now it will probably give me, randomized wall materials. But if I approach artist and be like, hey, remember this wall that you created and you wanted to have 200 variants of, you need to copy it 200 times, change material on those walls on each material ID, create level instance out of each one, and then convert it into PCG assembly. And then all of that shit needs to be put into the graph. Welcome. Have an awesome week. Artists would skin me alive for that type of workflow. So that's not acceptable. If I was given this kind of task, where I'm, I don't know, creating like some grammar for buildings, etc., and I would have to do like randomized materials for specific elements, I would just write custom C++ code for that. It would be way faster. I could get it done in, like a couple of hours probably. Tested, proven, not assuming anything about material IDs. Just select the original mesh. It will automatically populate the array with all the necessary material IDs, hook up all the variants that you want for each and every ID, let it parse all those points in here, from here, and assign, create attributes and assign to them those different variables. Voila, done, right? So unfortunately, for creating randomized materials for buildings with grammar usage, where your meshes have more than one material ID, I would advise creating custom node and custom structure that would contain all this data. Because the workflow that I just achieved, not great. An artist would kill me. Okay, so that's one of the questions that I had to myself. about PCG grammar. I can cross that out if I will ever find something to write with. Yeah, I have. Yeah, random materials. Checked. Okay, I had another idea. I cannot wait how I won't be able to achieve it. Basically, the idea is, if we look at the example, and here we have those pipes, right? I'm not sure if this is a spline mesh ready stuff, but I don't care how it looks. I just want to see if something like that could be achieved, right? So what I want to do is spawn certain points that will be only used for splines. Create a spline out of it going upwards. And first, let's see if the spline even shows up. And then maybe spawn a spline mesh. Because in super theory, spawn spline mesh. There is something like that here. We have spline mesh params where you can set forward axis, up there, scale mesh to bounce, etc, etc. And I want to see if I can do that. So first, let's get into our assemblies, because I want to do it via assembly. Like, for example, I want the pipes to have 2 points in here and here. So it will create a small spline. Let's start small for now, right? Let's start super small. So let me open up this thing and add some literally cube markers or sphere markers, so I could see them more clearly, right? Let's scale this, of course, on all you. Okay. And this will be a start of a pipe. This will be the end of the pipe on the ground floor, right? Let's just start with that. And also let me unhook that craziness that was that. Random materials. Let's actually delete it out of my face because it just annoys me. And yeah, let's save that. No. Let's edit that once again because I want to add tag to this actor. And the tag will be spline point. The same tag in here. Let's start small. Let's get those splines. Let's save it. And what was actually the name of this? LI wall decoration 1. Yeah, okay. So it will be PCG wall decoration 1. Asset action update PCG assets. Yes, those balls were of course spawned, and in some places they were randomized, etc. So I need to address that. And I'm addressing that by attribute filtering. I want to filter everything that is named spline point. Let's put it in here, shall we? And spline point true. Outside of the filter, every point that is spline point false. Great. And I want to hook that up. So the spline points themselves actually will never be spawned. That's great. Let's clean up a little bit. Or maybe not. Maybe that was a good idea to put it down there. Because right now, I know that I only have those spline points. But here's the kicker. Let's put in debug there, right? Right now, if I would create a spline out of it, how about I will just show it. Spline. Create spline. And now debug that. Let's see how crazy it looks, because that's not the way it should be set up. It didn't even work. It didn't even work because, I mean, no, it actually did. Huh, that's interesting. It actually did, but it's not showing in a nice way. Wait, are you for real? It did create a spline? Okay. Then spawn that. Can I force clockwise? In what way does any of those cubes resemble spline? I have no clue. That's not the way it should go. I wanted to show you how crazy the spline would look, but okay, let's clean that spline up. Ah, yeah, here it is. It kinda goes here and then it doesn't show up here. Okay. Maybe you can actually work it out like that. Okay. Spline to segment. No, I don't want to subdivide. Get spline data, get water spline data. No, no, no. Create surface from spline. No, no, no. Let's spawn spline mesh. Yeah, whatever. And cylinder. Let's just use cylinder for now. And let's see how crazy it is. Because it should be freaking crazy. It actually worked out like that? Wow! I wanted to prove to you, yeah, that you have to like do some weird data separation, but it actually created something. Wow! Not the way I wanted to, but because I wanted to go up, connect these 2 points. But still, the fact that it worked out at all is amazing to me, because I was trying to show you that it wouldn't work. Wow, okay. So, random materials, bad workflow. Do custom C++. Splines actually working out. Okay, where the fuck is the mesh that I wanted to use? Here it is. Let's use that. How it will look. What? What even the fuck is that? Okay, forward axis. Why? It's actually probably set up badly, yeah. Oh yeah, this mesh is not made with splines in mind. Too bad, I really wanted to use that. Or maybe it is. Yeah, it is. It is. Just the wrong axis, but... Wow! I'm actually amazed. I am actually amazed that it did connect. It created those splines. Yeah, they are buttfuck ugly, but... Aren't there any, like... straight? No, no straight pipes in here. Okay. But still. Okay. I wanted to kind of show you how you should divide this data, but... it worked right out of the fucking gate. I can just scale mesh to bounds, which makes it super small, and that's not what I want, because I didn't do any bound processing. Let's just spawn the mesh as it is. Okay, but now, here's the kicker. I actually want to... let's put those points back in here. I want to have those connections, right? So first of all, let me remove this, all of this shit. Yeah, I want to connect the points that are up and down. I think I just got the remedy. There was this node. There was this node. Let me show you what I mean. If I look at this data, this is the data that I am copying my wall decoration to. It is one giant ass PCG point data, right? I might want to divide it so each index creates its own PCG point data. And it might become obvious why in a hot second. But I have to remind myself, how was this... what was the name of this node? I'm kind of forgetting. Filter data, but attribute, no. By index, no. Point filter, delete, select, blah, blah, blah. No, and I used it at work lately, so... Attribute partition, was it that one? It might have been. And I want to use index. Let's see. Ah, yes, that was the one. That was the one. And that's the one that I will be hooking it up to. For the regular, you know, wall spawning, it doesn't change a thing. But for my splines, if I am correct in this, it should start connecting these points. And I think it already did. Let's turn off the debug. Yup. It already did. If you look closely, it spawned my pipe in here. And it was carrying it right to this moment. So if all of my upper flows were working, I could start, you know, working with connecting this point to the point above it, this point to the point above it, and go like that. Let's try to do this, although I have holes in my walls. That could be a name of a song. Holes in my walls that needs fixing. This is my level instance. Let's open it up. What do you mean create? Ah, okay. A level, edit, and once again, let's add our spheres. In here. And let's give them tags, of course. Actor tag, yes. It will be named spline point. Exactly like it was in the other thingy. And I have to do the same. Excuse me. I have to do the same trick. Intermediate wall decoration, yes. Asset action. Update PCG asset. Now we have those balls spawned in, but once again, we are dealing with the randomization, so attribute filter spline point. It is after copying it, right? Now the spline points will disappear, as they should. And I need to do a attribute partition before copying, as I did for the ground floor. Turn that off. Go here. It doesn't change a lick for our floors with holes, but it does everything to our spline points. So right now we will create a named reroute that will be named intermediate floors spline points, right? So I am wondering, I'm not sure if it will work out. Let's see. Not really. Okay. Show me the debug. Oh, there's no debug for that shit. Okay. Now, why? Oh, I have debug. Oh, those points are on the other side of the freaking thing. Okay, so there's some problem in there. Let me maybe quickly transform points. Yeah, basically let's just do that shit. Okay, what the hell is going on? Ah, yeah. Now it's on the outside. Okay. And it did spawn those pipes, but it didn't connect this end of pipe with this end of pipe, because those are two different data sets and PCG point data sets, and I would have to somehow mark this thing as being the part of the same data set as this thing and being the part of the same data set as this thing. I'm not really sure how I could achieve it. Maybe thinking of maybe doing it via PCG assembly was the wrong route. Because right now I don't think I can come up with some any sort of cool idea. I'll be honest. Let's think what I could do. Like right now, this thing has 35 PCG point datas because there were 35 point index points on that extruded floor, right? How many points do I have after attribute partition in here? Only 23. Not everything will have a match, and that's kind of a problem. Can I like maybe spatially cluster it or something? But from what I remember, clustering requires information about how many clusters I want up front, and yeah, that sucks. So I wouldn't be able to cluster any of that shit. Okay, what other spatial processing ideas I have in here? Attribute set to point. Bounce from mesh, no. What is attribute set to point? Ah, yeah. Okay. Create collision data, create points, create point grids, create point sphere, create spline. Create surface from spline. Call points outside of difference, distance, duplicate cross section, elevation, isolines, that's not it. Find convex hole to the what kind of options do I have here? Ah, no options. Okay. So it will be always on the XY plane, not, for example, on XZ plane or... Okay. Then there are getters, intersection, intersection. That's not exactly what I'm searching for. Make concrete. Merge points, merges multiple data sources into single data output. Yeah, not really. Mutate seat, normal to densities. Point from... What is this? Compute quantities from nearby points such as average density, color, and position. Okay, and search distances in radius. So that's not really it. Projection, spatial noise, spline direction, spline. Yeah, I don't see, outside of course, creating custom C++ code, which is always the answer. I don't really see a way I could take these points and these points together and connect them. I cannot put them in the same PCG point data, and even if I were to unionize all of them into one bracket, I would have to space... Let me show you the problem we are dealing with. Right now we have like our ground floor. We have pipe going up in here, right? Then we have our first floor. We have pipe going from here. And then we have our second floor, I don't know, pipe going from here. And right now, each of those things is its own PCG point data, right? With some index to it, like X. Here it will be Y. Here it will be, maybe those are wrong names. The index alpha. Index beta. And index gamma, however you got them righted. And the idea is that right now, because all of those things are their own PCG point datas, I would have to use the node called union, and I cannot write for shit. Union to merge all of this into one PCG point data, and I could do it. But then the problem is, when I will be creating splines, it will be mostly creating them on a XY plane, right? So it won't connect those points together as a spline. Or would it? Because what I need right now is spatial search that would find that these points are close enough together to create a spline out of them, right? Right now, I don't see the method for that, but maybe I'm wrong, because there is this create spline, create data only. Apply custom tangents. Not really. Actually, not really. It creates it in a sequential order. Unless my union will work some magic, left to right priority, right to left priority. Unless that stuff works out some magic, I don't see it happening. Yeah, it created some weird ass shit. As we can see, it went up and down, and then it went here and up and down. Actually, it kind of looks funny, but it didn't connect things on a different floors. Yeah, let's explore if I can actually do something. Because right now the data, it is just one PCG point data with all of the points together. So yeah, and if I clicked on closed loop, that would be funny. Because it will try to create the closed loop, but no. If I forced linear, it would just try to apply the smallest tangent possible. So no. I could apply custom tangents, but I need to have attributes for that. And then there's spline direction, force clockwise, force counterclockwise, so it will just go the other way, and reverse. Yeah, that shit won't fly. Yeah. Nope. This won't work out like that. Yeah, this shit won't work out like that. So the approach for creating such pipes in that way is out of the box. And why I'm even researching that, when the answer, someone might ask like, hey, isn't it a waste of time for R&D? Artists could, you know, spawn the block like this and then just by hand, you know, add spline mesh, do whatever the fuck they want with it, right? And my answer to it is, yeah, but imagine populating a city like this and going block by block to create all those pipes, right? So yeah, right now I'm thinking that it cannot be done via PCG assemblies. It should be done the other, a little bit different way. How can I use this extrusion and all of its points and divide it so I will, for example, have data about this segment of 3 splines as one data set, because that's what we're trying to do in here. And right now I'm wondering, because I'm already doing this duplicate cross section in here, I already have this data, some of it, before selecting grammar, right? If I turn on the debug on spline to segment, I have those lines in here, right? I can, I don't know, absolute, yeah, I have those points, right? If I once again will try to recreate the splines out of this shit, I mean, it is already a spline, right? I have 3 splines here. So if I would be, yeah, let's, no. Let's turn all of that stuff off. Why is it? And let's do that. Before I go spline to segment. I already have spline. Let's spawn this mesh in here. We will see that, yeah, the spawn is going floor by floor. How can I change the direction of all of this shit instead of like forcing clockwise? How can I, basically I have 3 splines and I want to merge points on the z-axis. What subdivide segment, spline to segment gives me? Wait, I have an idea. There's attribute partition, right? Partition. I could, instead of index, use position. Yeah, what I'm thinking about is, hey, put things into single PCG data point if the X and Y value are exactly the same. Z can be different, but yeah, let's do that. Let's see if I can actually, maybe this is the way. Where the fuck is it? Position.y. Turn that off right now. I just want to see. Yeah, we are working on points. I just want to see. Yeah, it has PCG point datas, but only. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks because basically what it did is I have 14 points on 3 different splines. So what it did was 14. Yeah. It did something weird, but still, what if I union this thing, right? Now it should be one PCG point data where position X, just show me position X and Y. That's all I really care about right now, and Z. There are things that have the exact same position Z, but I wonder if there are things that have the exact same position X and Y after being split into segments. Because what I really want, my spatial searching should be like, hey, X and Y value are the same across all of the free flows with different Z's. That's what I'm aiming for, right? So there is something that I could attach myself to. There is 1934 minus 890. Yeah, okay. What is the error? Position X and Y not found. The fuck you talking about? You do have the position X and Y. Don't even bullshit me like that, son. Where the hell are you? Oh my god, 2 point. Fuck you. Now it should be working out. God. And if I only split it by position X, then yeah. But if I split it by also, I mean by position X and where the hell is it? Position Y. I think I did it. I think I did it. Now I can create spline out of it. Force direction. So we did the spatial search. We just need it. Or it didn't work out. No, it actually did. Kinda. Sorta. Yeah, because we have no points here, but wait a second. Where is my debug? Where is my debug? No, it didn't. Yeah, I was thinking that maybe just by grouping points that have X and Y value on the XY plane exact same, but they are differing in height, that's how I could find those points, right? But no, it actually did work out. Look, this thing connects to that thing. It actually spawned those splines. If those were not curved, then it would work out. Like, are there really no other pipes? There is. This pipe. Give me that pipe. I want that pipe. Or even that pipe. It looks bigger. Give me that shit. Something bigger. Yeah, it actually did find points belonging together. Only for the connection between ground floor and the second floor. On the first floor, not to the roof though. For some reason, roof top points are out of the question. I don't get why. Kill mesh to bounce. Why not? and it's super thin. So thin that I cannot even see it. Okay, that's great. I don't want that. Okay, we kind of sort of found a workflow for that. It kind of destroys the idea of artists dictating where the pipe is going. But by using those splines and finding those points that could belong together into one data set, we kinda did it. Yeah, the only place that is mysterious to me is why there is nothing on the rooftop. But I guess here is where the last spline goes, right? So to go to the rooftop, I would have to create additional spline, right? But it doesn't matter how many floors I create, it does freaking work out. I think. I mean, it kind of looks like it, right? Or am I mistaken and it doesn't work? But the thing is that before creating spline, I would love to move those things. Transform, offset those points in their local space. No, it's going to be in local space. Because I want this to be a little bit outside of the building. Yeah, it is. So this is the way you could create pipes around your block if you are using grammar. Just use those extruded splines that are going up top. And the way to search for them would be to unionize all of the splines into one data set, and then partition all the attributes into the different data sets by having the same x and y position, but z will be different. That way you get your spline points that are going from 430 to 3268, right? Of height. Then you can offset it, create spline, force direction, and and you got it. Okay, so there is a workflow for that. It's not exactly artist driven, where the artist can choose where are the points for the spline. Or it would have to be super duper. It would basically have to be a square building in order for it to work. Yeah, any more fantasy looking shapes will be not possible with PCG assembly workflow. I mean, with that workflow either. It has to be exact the same. Like, you wouldn't be able to have anything go into the middle. You wouldn't be able to have, like, for example, this block, right? That is kind of incomplete. You wouldn't be able to make, for example, the last floor smaller, right? Because then those spline points wouldn't connect really. So I still think, yeah, for very samey, squarey looking buildings that don't have lots of variation, like that demo scene, right? It would work. But for something else, I would say coming up with custom solution would still be preferred. With the custom C++ node. Because ideally, you would not only partition on the same exact X and Y position, you would try to have like the error of margin. So like, okay, we have this point that is super close to what we are trying to find. There is slight difference there defined by the user, but we will treat it as the part of the same set. If you could partition your stuff like that, then you could have splines that could create pipelines that would be not just straight as an arrow. And right now, I'm thinking that maybe you could do it without custom C++ code. Because think about that. Maybe we could create a new attribute where we would be calculating the X and Y position and their buffer points and save it up as a singular attribute. And that way we could gather this stuff. I'm not sure. But I think there is something that could potentially be done without even C++ code. And if not, you could always, look at the code of attribute partition by position X and Y and create similar C++ node, but would accept the margin of error where user could input, okay, everything on the XY plane with the margin of error of, 50 units can be treated as being the part of the same data set on the z-axis, right? Something like this, I don't know. That's how I would code it. That's where I would at least start looking at how you could do attribute partition. I would look into that node. Okay, I have to finish the stream for today. I am semi-happy with that shit because I was able to figure out that assigning random materials with that workflow is a pain in the ass. You have to basically create, at least I think, you have to create your own C++ custom code. If I'm mistaken and you know better way of doing that, or maybe you're an Epic employee watching this, that would be awesome. Please join the Discord. Let me quickly share the Discord. Join the Discord in here. Join my Discord and please tell me what am I missing when it comes to assigning random materials for meshes that have unpredictable amount of material IDs, right? If I'm missing something with that kind of building creation workflow. What I'm still curious about and might do in some future stream, maybe not for the next stream because I think both y'all and I am tired a little bit of this grammar stuff. So we will put it on a shelf for a second. Is grouping logical assets by tag, which means that I constructed my wall like that. And if I'm spawning, let me show you quickly. If I'm spawning that mesh, I also want to spawn that one and that one, right? I want this as a package. Sorry, as a package. So that's the one thing that I would still want to figure out, how to tag that, hey, this is the package. Don't fuck this up, right? When you are randomizing, so we won't have such situations where we'll be spawning something like this, only one lonely leg of a barrier or incomplete barrier or something like this, because it just doesn't make logical sense, right? So that's one thing that I would be interested for sure in the future. Pipes, we kind of sort of found out a little bit about it. More floors. Yeah, we spawned more floors, but I have some error that creates holes in my walls, and that's something that I really want to dig into and show on stream how I fixed it, or fix it on stream. So that one will for sure be coming back. And swapping assets that are used in here via data tables. Maybe that's the better way of material swapping, but I'm still not sure if that will work out. Okay, so that's been me. That's been the stream for... That's been a makeup stream for missing the last Sunday. And I will see you guys on the next Angry Joe show. No, I will see you guys on next Sunday on a regular date, 10:30 a.m. Warsaw time. I'm not sure what kind of topic I will be exploring yet. Maybe I will be coming back to coding my game and we will touch upon some other functionalities or prototype something. I'm not sure. We will see. I will for sure share information about that on my Discord and on the YouTube social or whatever it is called, and on Twitch. Okay. So that's it. Have a great day, you guys. And yeah, without further ado,